Why does Italy have tiny villages like Frazione Madice? Last weekend, I found myself in Frazione Madice, just above Bleggio Superiore. It's so small that there are no street names, not because the place is lazy, but because it doesn't need them. You simply use the house number and Frazione Madice as your address. That got me asking, why do places like this exist, and what's the story behind them, especially Madice? Frazioni are tiny villages or hamlets that form subdivision of Italian municipalities, or comuni. Most of them, including Madice, originated from clusters of alpine farmhouses known as masi. These were family-run homesteads tucked into the mountains, often only a couple of families. Madice began as two such farms belonging to the Bonomi and the Peregrinati families back in the early days. Over time, and particularly during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, land passed down through generations got divided into increasingly smaller plots. That's how Madice evolved from two farmhouse properties into a microvillage, today counting around 110 inhabitants with no church or cemetery. Residents depending on Santa Croce del Bleggio for both. So what makes these tiny places worth preserving? Geography and history. Mountain terrain made centralized villages impractical. Families had to stay close to fields and livestock. Over centuries, these scattered groups developed into their own identities and names, with Madice carrying the legacy of the De Medici, early settlers in the area. There is also some drama hidden in these clusters. For example, in nearby Frazioni, several hamlets suffered devastating fires in the late 1800s. Bivedo in 1879, Marazzone in 1893, Cavaglione in 1894, and Rango multiple times, including a blaze in 1884. And if you wander these villages today, you might spot frescoes by Carlo Donati, a young painter from Verona, who painted the Madonna in Casa Bonomi and the Santa Caterina in Madice around 1913. So Madice isn't just a tiny dot on the map. It's a living snapshot of how alpine life worked. Small, practical, family-founded, shaped by terrain, and carrying centuries of history. Next time you see a frazione listed in an address, remember, it might just hold the entire history of a community. I am Mari, and this is Midnight Question.